underneath the fresh waters of North America, in our own backyards, there lies one of the most sought-after sport fish in these United States. Some of the greatest crappie fishing in the world, enticing some of the greatest crappie anglers in the world. Anglers from every state, anglers from all walks of life, anglers just like you and me. From the muddy waters of the mighty Mississippi, the humid swamps of South Florida, to the world-renowned Grenada Lake, and every slab-filled lake in between, all striving for one common goal. From state championships all across our land, to the coveted national championship trophy. These are your crappie masters.
Bass Pro Shops Crappie Masters TV is brought to you by Bass Pro Shops. Your adventure starts here. Mercury, #1 on the water. Humminbird, simply, clearly, better. Minn Kota, anywhere, anytime. Martin Metal, working hard for your success. And by Rockport Rattler, it's a dinner bell for fish.
Welcome folks to Bass Pro Shops Crappie Masters TV show. I'm your host Paul Alpers, and of course the weather always has to change when we have a crappie tournament. We're here at the Bass Pro Shops Crappie Masters Ultimate Challenge one pole artificial bait only tournament right here on Kentucky Lake at Camden, Tennessee in Benton County. We had 90 anglers out here from about 8 different states. That's right, they're fishing only with one pole. First time ever here on this lake. It is going to be very interesting. We're out here today. The weather has dropped about 30 degrees. It was about 80 degrees yesterday. Right now it's about 49 or 50 degrees. These fish are trying to spawn. It is pre-spawn time. Cold front's going to cause them to back off a little bit. They were catching them in about a foot of water here 2 or 3 days ago. Now the fish and the bigger females have backed off into 6, 7, 8, even 10 foot of water. But it always makes it interesting. We're going to have a great time, and I assure you these fishermen will figure it out and catch some great big slabs right here on Kentucky Lake. There's one right there, folks. Brought him right out there. That is a nice fish.
See what I was telling you? You got a fish.
With over 160,000 acres of fishable waters, Kentucky Lake is the largest artificial lake east of the Mississippi River in the United States. Known for its plentiful white bass and buffalo carp, it's also home to a huge amount of our favorite fish, the crappie. This 2-day event drew over 80 anglers that dealt with a variety of weather conditions that lasted through pre-fishing and both days of the tournament. See how these anglers adjust and overcome. This week, only on Crappie Masters Television.
Woo, that helped.
Well, folks, we went out pre-fishing day and we caught up with Dan Dannemuller and Garrett Steele, the Bobby Garland team. Got a few tips and techniques. The weather still just kind of bouncing back and forth. The wind still though is blowing a little bit, but it's going to get cooler. It's going to get nastier. But we checked in and found out several good tips and techniques. And you know, Dan Dannemuller has only been fishing the trail about 3 years. He actually was on the pro circuit on the bass fishing side. And of course, Garrett Steele, way on the other side of the field, country music artist. A great performer, but he also is a great crappie fisherman. And I'll tell you what, them two guys have as much fun, and that's what it's all about here at Crappie Masters. Anybody can come, anybody can win a tournament, and we all have fun crappie fishing.
Morning, everybody. This is Dan Dannemuller. We're out on Kentucky Lake pre-fishing for the tournament for this weekend, Friday and Saturday, on Kentucky Lake in Tennessee. We're on the Big Sandy, Buchanan's Resort. It's a great place. We're out here this morning on the water. We're going to go through what we're doing on pre-fishing so that you get a feel for how we look for the fish on a lake when we're going to it. And a lot of times we'll go back to areas that we know on the lake, and then again, that may pay off, it may not. So what we're doing is we're starting from scratch. We've been on the water now, this is the third day. We have located some fish. We're not too happy about size. We're not finding the great big fish like we'd like to find. So what we're going to do today with you is show you what we do, and this is live. I mean, this is what we're doing. It's not staged, it's not anything. This is the real deal. And we're going to show you what we do with our electronics. We're going to show you what we do when we go in to try an area. A lot of times we don't even fish very much in the first part of the process when we're doing this. We're looking for staging fish coming up to spawn. Our first thing that we do when we go out on the water is turn the electronics on. The Humminbird, we'll use Humminbird electronics. This is 1198. I've got it linked with 1158 up front. So when I get ready to fish, I'm going to be using that 1158, but in the meantime, I'll be using 1198 side finder as well as a DI function for down imaging to be able to pinpoint where those fish are holding. So what we're going to do is I'm going to take you through that process, and we're just going to use the docks here at Buchanan to take a look at them. We haven't done that. We haven't looked at the back end of this creek to see if there's any cribs that we want to fish. So what we're going to do is we're going to take you through that process, a day on the water with one of the pros, with Bobby Garland and B&M Poles. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to mark that, and then I can even zoom in on it. See that right there? See that right there? See that impression? That tells me that's a crib. See how it's sitting there? And those white things are fish that's sitting on that structure. That's what we've been looking for. And right there's the echo of it. There's some more. That's a tree or something right there. We mark it, save it, and you can even zoom in on it and take a look. See, that thing's got some structure to it. There's fish sitting right there, and there's fish sitting right there on that brush. And when you're one poling like this, you got to find those isolated areas like that, because those are not going to be fished as hard. Plus, if you're going to pinpoint with a jig and you're going to fish those fish, you've got to have a pinpoint accuracy of where you're going to catch those fish. Look at that. See that there? That's not the one that was holding them though. See, we got these different structures. There's another stump. There it is, right there. Look at that, right there. Where's the marker buoy? Right there. That is impressive. That is impressive. So right here's the fish. This is it right here. So we're going to work from this buoy up to about that big rock. There's a big bunch of them right here. And the one thing people ask, how do you know if you're still over your spot if your marker buoy moved off like our marker buoy moved off? You can take the electronics and put it on also and have both units on where they're sharing. And you'll see on here I've got waypoints that actually came from my unit in the back when I was marking them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this on a depth where I can see depth, I can see fish, but I'm also seeing my marks on here. Now this is what Garrett and I found on Grenada. We found a spot like this. This is a transition spot, big where it's deep water, the old creek channel. And they were migrating that creek channel from deep water in to go into their spawning grounds. You had a hit? Got him? Got him? Woohoo! Success!
Go down there.
Mr. Eric, we just gave you a bonus. And Mr. Garrett got it.
We don't just sing.
He can dance too.
No, and I wouldn't go that far. Don't ask my manager about that part.
Folks, you seen them right there. They threw their marker buoy out. What they're doing is they're fishing some beds and some stumps, beds, and stake beds down here in the Big Sandy. They're just running along with their Minn Kota trolling motor there and their Humminbird depth finder, and they're throwing that marker buoy out, and they're just vertical jigging right down in it. With this cold front, they're probably hanging pretty tight to this cover right now. Jamie, you said that the fish have they been holding pretty tight to the cover and the beds?
Well, they are. Some of them suspended above it.
Some above it, huh? Now, are you fishing mainly stake beds, stumps, or what are you fishing?
Both.
Both.
A lot of stones with stake beds around them.
And you say you're already culling. Of course, you had a nice fish there that you showed us. Did the fish bite first thing this morning, or
yeah,
and it kind of slowed down now?
Well, we caught that bed when we fished that bed 15 minutes before we caught it.
Really? Tell us what kind of poles you're using, what type of jigs you're using.
I'm using a Grizzly Elite rod, and what's some jig we're using?
There's one right there, folks. Running right out there.
Using scent wigglers. That's what they are.
Yeah. Scent wigglers?
Scent wigglers.
Okay.
Yep.
Now, is that
bluegrass?
Pardon me?
They're bluegrass colored. That's the color.
It looks like he inhaled it anyway. Now up here on Kentucky Lake, I know there's a lot of you guys one pole a lot, but do you troll a lot up here also?
Oh yeah.
Okay. Oops, there's good. There might be a good fish right there. Not a bad fish. Now is this a stump? Is this a stake bed or a stump you're fishing?
Stake bed.
Stake bed. Oh, look at that, you get it? All right. Folks, look at that Kentucky Lake slab right there. Oh yeah, that's a 2-pound fish, isn't it? Well, folks, we were here with the local team here, Jamie and his partner. Man, they caught several fish out of those stake beds. You can see right now, that's what it's gonna take today. Fishing about 6.5, looked like 7 foot deep. He caught that one really nice 2-pounder, caught another nice black male there about 1 pound. They've got several fish already they're culling. This team is gonna be a force to be reckoned with when we go to weigh-in. We're gonna catch up with some other anglers back here in the Big Sandy, and hopefully we can see some more big Kentucky slabs. We'll see as we pull up on the Bobby Garland team of Garrett Steele and Dan Dannemuller, see how many big slabs they got in the boat.
First spot this morning, just netted a couple of stripes. Too much wind on it. We had one spot back here that was just loaded with fish. Caught 4 off of it and it quit, so we wanted to get off of it for a little bit.
Let's see, Tim Blackley and Jackie Van Cleve's back. There's a fish. Folks, Dan Dannemuller's got one on. Could be a good fish.
That ain't gonna measure.
Small fish.
Turn on the heaters, would you?
Ain't this something?
Turn on the heaters.
Never fails. Folks, we're plumb back here in the back of Big Sandy. Been several years since I've been back here. As you notice, they got all these cane out, marking brush piles and stumps. We're pulling up on the Strike King team of Tim Blakely and Jackie Van Cleve. They might have some good ones here. They're casting. Notice they're putting their power pole down, holding them in position with this wind so they can fish right up on the stumps, not make any noise. We'll see if they got any big ones in the live well. Notice you got your power poles down, just holding you in position.
There you go.
Power poles, we couldn't fish like this.
We couldn't do it in the wind without the power pole.
Saves a lot of battery on your trolling motor too, doesn't it?
Well, in this shallow water, you're digging in, you know, you spook a lot of fish.
Right.
Trying to bust
This lake is full of fish.
Oh yeah.
I mean, full of fish.
Well, if Mother Nature would leave things alone for a while and keep warm, it might be a little bit better.
But casting, we seem to do better casting than we do vertical jigging. With
Right.
this wind blowing like it is,
Yep.
we're catching more fish by casting than we were vertical jigging.
Uh-oh, got one on now. Catch them all day long like that, huh? Oh, yeah. Oh, I can catch you some big ones somewhere.
We're gonna give it our best.
I think I'm gonna find a log and go put it on the fire.
We'll see y'all later.
All right, be careful. Good morning, folks. Well, we're here out at the Bass Pro Shop Crappie Masters Ultimate Challenge one pole artificial bait only tournament. Second day of competition on Kentucky Lake right here at Camden, Tennessee. We're slipping up on the first place team, Ronald Keel, Ronald Taylor, with 12.69 in the lead, only by 7 ounces. These guys had a great bunch of fish the other day, and like I said, it's going to be a shootout. We got one 12-pound stringer, 2 or 3 11-pound stringers, and right behind them guys is 4 or 5 more 10-pound stringers. We're going to pull up on them. It's a foggy morning. Yesterday, cold, windy, miserable. Some of those guys, we had about 6 teams, didn't even weigh in. But this morning, bluebird sky. We'll see what happens. Good morning, fellas.
Morning.
How are you this morning?
Pretty good.
How's Guy doing this morning?
Good.
All right. How many you got already this morning?
None.
None.
Fish of no kind.
That cold weather kind of shut them down, did it?
I believe it did.
There's one on. Looks like it could be, oh yeah, that's a nice fish right there, folks. Finally netted one, looks like about 1.25 pound fish. Well, folks, we just talked to the first place team. They're using fluger rods, chartreuse jigs, fishing their own stake beds that they put in here at Lake Creek. But let me tell you something, 34 degrees, this cold wind yesterday, now 34 degrees, a bluebird sky. People could be in 10th, 12th place today and come all the way to the top. But it is going to be exciting, and I'm sure somebody is going to find fish.
Yesterday, I think the bite was a little darker because it was real cloudy. But caught some fish this morning early in about 16, 17 foot of water. Seemed to be better quality fish, but right now we've kind of gone through a little lull. So
There's one on.
ooh.
Could be a good one, folks. Nice fish right there.
Well, that helped. Woo, that helped. They ain't gonna win it, but they ain't gonna hurt us.
Looks like a good one.
Charlie Brewer sliders.
Charlie Brewer.
Yes, sir.
Hot feet. Folks, we've been here with Stephen and Dale, and they're in second place, about 6 ounces out of first. They do have a good bag of fish, not quite what they had yesterday. They could be your first place winners. We'll be right back with the exciting weigh-in, as always, on Crappie Masters TV. Let's hear it for them. They've done it 7 times.
Yep. Don't laugh, Mom.
Nope, what?
Don't laugh, Mom.
I got it. I'm not. 878. 878. All right, guys, hold some up right quick.
Total of 15.57.
Let's hear it from one of the boys right up the street.
They need 10.34 to take the lead.
10:34. Here they come. You get them today, men?
We tried.
They tried today. All right. I believe they're going to have a big bag, too. This looks like a bunch of good fish in here. Watch the scale close. It's going to go way up there. We might have the biggest weight. So 13.27, and that's the biggest weight so far in the last 2 days. Really some nice fish right there. We're going to see what happens right here, right now. Who we got, Mike? Do they have them, folks? Let's hear it for the first place team.
They were in first
yesterday.
place after day 1. They have
You got
7
them, guys?
fish today and need
You doubt it?
9.07 to take the lead.
They got a couple of short fish in there. Let's see what happens. Here we go. Watch the scales. It's going to go down, though, and it's going to go how much? How much?
7.
Uh-oh. 10.15, and there's your new champions right there. 10.15.
2-day total of 22.80 and makes them first place.
I'd like to thank the Benton County Camden Chamber of Commerce for hosting this event. God bless America, and ain't crappie fishing fun.
Bass Pro Shops Crappie Masters TV is brought to you by Bass Pro Shops. Your adventure starts here. Mercury, #1 on the water. Humminbird, simply, clearly, better. Minn Kota, anywhere, anytime. Martin Metal, working hard for your success. And by Rockport Rattler, It's a dinner bell for fish.